പറയും. അതായത് ഇതിന്റെ പല എക്സാമിനും പല രീതിയിലാണ് അതിനെ പറയുക. ബട്ട് കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് ഗുഡ് ഈവനിങ് ശ്വേത. ഗുഡ് ഈവനിങ്. ഗുഡ് ഈവനിങ്. ഓക്കെ, കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് നമ്മൾ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഗുഡ് ഈവനിങ്. ഗുഡ് ഈവനിങ് ആതിര മഞ്ജുള.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So today we will discuss about the input-output problems. Okay. Yesterday we got that overview and everything. Okay. Today we will discuss more on the problems related to that. Okay. Okay, Anand. This quantitative aptitude is one thing. Okay. Quantitative aptitude is one subject. Reasoning is another subject. Okay. Quantitative aptitude can be also called as numerical ability. So you can imagine what all things will come under quantitative aptitude. Hi Aditya, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, quantitative aptitude means it is related to numerical ability, or we have to do some mathematical operations in order to solve the in order to solve the question. Okay, it is more related to numbers or calculations like that. Good evening, Subramanian.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So we were talking about the difference between quantitative aptitude and reasoning. Okay, that is the topic just we were discussing. That is, quantitative aptitude is more related to numerical problems like age problems, then train problems are there, bot and stream are there. There are so many topics, average, then what can I say, numbers, HCF, LCM. These all things we already studied in LP, UP, high school sections. Okay, but those things will come in competitive exams under which topic? Quantitative aptitude. Area, volume, mensuration. Area, volume, then what all things? Both of that, area and volume in the case of 2D and 3D figures. Those things will come under quantitative aptitude. There are so many topics under that quantitative aptitude, and also reasoning is also, right? And reasoning is divided into what all things? Anyone? Reasoning is divided into I already said reasoning can be divided into two. What are they? What are they? No, it's widely divided into two. Okay, I will just share the screen. Reasoning is of two types: verbal reasoning and verbal and non-verbal reasoning. Are you seeing the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Actually, I will tell the difference between verbal reasoning and non-verbal reasoning. Then what is the difference between reasoning and quantitative aptitude? Okay, so you will get an idea about this syllogism or input output is just one topic of one topic under verbal reasoning. Okay, these are just topics under verbal reasoning only. This input output is a verbal reasoning topic, then syllogism is a verbal reasoning topic. There are a lot under verbal reasoning itself. So reasoning can be mainly divided into what all things? Reasoning can be mainly divided into like you said, verbal and non-verbal. Sorry, verbal. Okay, verbal and non-verbal. So verbal means what? They will tell about the verbal things. Verbal reasoning means they will tell the scenario or the situation through sentences. Okay, through sentences. Then in the case of non-verbal reasoning, they will use images okay, instead of the words or sentences. That is the main difference. Okay, we have to analyze a particular figure and we have to get a particular conclusion in the case of non-verbal reasoning. But in the case of verbal reasoning, we need to read the question first. Reading comprehension, you know about reading comprehension, right? So actually verbal reasoning needs a lot of reading capacity. We already know about puzzles. Puzzle is something which consumes time, right? Good evening, Silky. Good evening. So puzzles and all needs time. Also, sometimes input output also needs time. Syllogism. Everyone is more related to verbal, right? If verbal capacity is good, then you can recognize what is the meaning of that very easily. Hmm? So it is like uh, what verbal capacity testing also. Okay. Sometimes if we read fast, then you can solve it. Yeah, in short time. So in this verbal reasoning itself, there are a lot of topics like series, analogy, classification, then coding and decoding. Okay, coding and decoding is a separate topic, but we used in input output also. Okay, you had seen that thing yesterday, right? Coding decoding is also coming in input output in solving input output problem. Then comes our blood relation. You know about blood relation. Then puzzle is a very good topic. We can score well. Okay. If one paragraph is there, then there will be 5 questions related to that paragraph. Hmm? If we understood that paragraph clearly and make a flow chart or something, make a table or something, then you can crack the other questions easily. Then sequential output tracing. Okay, so this thing is also called as what? Input output. Okay, sequential output tracing is also called as what? Input output. Okay, what do you mean by the sequential output tracing? Can you relate that thing with input output? This is actually input output itself. Input output topic. So what is the relation? Can you tell? Anyone? You can tell from the name itself. Sequential output tracing. Please tell. What is the connection between input output and sequential uh, output tracing? What is the connection? Hello, it is easy. Sequential output tracing. The name itself is telling that there's a sequence, right? There are different steps in input output, right? So we are just finding a particular output in step by step process, right? Hmm? Step by step process, step 1, step 2, step 3, like that we did it yesterday. Each step is followed by the next step through a particular step or a process. So that term, that input output topic or machine input output, that is also called as input output, all are same. Sequential output tracing or input output, both are same. Sometimes it is also called as machine input output. Okay, everything is same. Then we know about direction sensors. We did that before. Direction sensors, then logical Venn diagram, then syllogism. These all are different topics. Alphabet test, alphanumeric puzzle, number ranking, time sequence. These are things we have to do. Then there are a lot more: mathematical operation, logical sequence, arithmetical reasoning, inserting missing character. Then data interpretation, DI, data interpretation. It is also included in what? Also included in quantitative aptitude section. It is a mix. Okay, it is actually a mix of reasoning and also quantitative aptitude. We have to analyze the figure and we have to understand what all things are given. Then data sufficiency is also another thing. They will give some data and they will give some conclusion. So is there any necessity for that particular data for finding a particular conclusion. That may be the question related to that. Okay, they will give a data, and for finding a particular conclusion, which data is sufficient, or is it sufficient for that, for finding that conclusion, like that they will ask. I will explain each and everything in detail when we take that topic. Okay, I am just giving a brief about what about this verbal reasoning. Now, reasoning is also under non-verbal reasoning. There is non-verbal reasoning also. Hmm? Good evening, Sangeeta. So, non-verbal reasoning. Non-verbal reasoning contains a lot of figures. Okay, it contains a lot of figures. There are series of figures, then analogy, classification, analytical reasoning. We already did. That is analytical reasoning, or we can say that counting. Do you remember that counting section? Counting of triangle, counting of rectangle. That portion. Yeah, that is called. Yeah, that is analytical reasoning. Analytical reasoning or counting. Okay. Then water image, mirror image. That is just inverting the image. Okay. If it is water image, they will invert. Okay. We have to just invert the image. Uh, yeah, upside down. In the case of mirror image, we have to invert laterally. That is left to right or right to left. Okay. Then spotting out of embedded figure. Okay, there will be a complicated figure, and inside that there will be a simple figure. We have to spot out. Okay, we have to take that hidden figure. Embedded figures are also called as hidden figures. We just went through that topic also. I will repeat the same in detail. Okay, after your exams and all, I will concentrate on more problems related to each and every topic. Okay, then completion of incomplete pattern. Okay, completion of incomplete pattern. That is also another term. Good evening, Anshuman. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So, completion of incomplete pattern. We are discussing about different topics under reasoning, quantitative, etc. Okay. So, you all will get an idea about these things. Okay. For placement exams and all, they will ask a mixed question paper. Okay, they will just mix up all the topics. Hmm? We can expect any questions uh, related to reasoning, aptitude. Reasoning and aptitude will be there, and under that there are different topics, right? So those topics are given here. Okay, I just shared the PDF in the WhatsApp group, and also I think I put that in Google Classroom also. So this is needed for your reference, because we have to go through each and every topic. Okay, figure metrics, paper folding and cutting. Okay, we will cut, or we will fold a paper and just open it, and we will get a certain pattern, right? So that pattern will be in the option, and we have to opt the correct pattern out of that. That is about paper folding or paper cutting. Those are different topics. Paper folding is one topic, cutting is another topic. Okay, then rule detection. Rule detection is that they will give just a certain rule. Okay, that is close figure just opens up, and open figure just closed up. Like that, they will give some rule, and we have to follow that rule while finding the answer. Okay, that is one way to find that rule detection. Then identical figures must be grouped. Then cubes and dice. There are so much related to figures. All these things are related to figures. So non-verbal reasoning includes figures only. They will represent the question in terms of figures, and we have to analyze it. Okay, they will give everything in terms of figures. Okay, so that is about what reasoning. Then coming to quantitative aptitude. Quantitative aptitude. What is inside this quantitative aptitude? It contains these things. You can see that is numbers, LCM, HCF, then decimal fraction, simplification, square root, cube root, then average, problems on numbers, then age problems are there. Then search and what is that? Indices, percentage. We use percentage in so many areas, right? In DI, percentage was the. Then we have to know about profit and loss. Then ratio and proportion. These things will come in different topics. Okay, so we need to focus on those things, and we have to know the ideas about numbers. Okay, ideas about numbers, LCM, HCF, etc. These all things are needed. Needed for solving some other topics like DI and all. We need to study this first in the case of quantitative aptitude. I will just discuss these things. Okay, in coming classes, we will focus on that. Then, if we have a power on that, or if we expertise those things, those simple things, okay, we can solve so much questions related to other topics also. Other topics, that is in tabulation, pie chart, bar chart, line chart, etc. are DI. Other topics of DI. Okay. Then in DI, these things came. Okay, we already discussed about that. Profit and loss were there, then percentage was there, ratio and proportion was there. So many things are included in DI. Okay, did you notice that? So some topics are interrelated. We need some topics, okay, to solve DI or any other thing. Okay, so it is interrelated. So we need to know the concepts. Okay, simple concept. We already studied those concepts in lower classes, but we may have forgotten that. We are studying some other things now. Okay, we are not dealing with that. So we have to just memorize all the concepts, all the equations related to that. So quantitative aptitude is basically related to what? Mathematical operation. You can just go through this syllabus, so you will understand what all things are coming under that thing, that is permutation, combination, area, volume, then games. This is a different section. Okay, race and games. From the name, you may think that it is related to games or something else. Yeah, it is related to games, but in some other way, it is related to some calculation and all. Calendar, clock. Okay, then shares, discounts, odd man out, height and distance, trigonometry. Sometimes in railway, trigonometry will come. Okay, in railway and SSC, trigonometry will be there. In little bit easy trigonometry. No worries. We have to study some equations we didn't study it in +1. Okay, some other equations are there which is more easy than our +1 equations. Okay, plus one trigonometric equation is important. Then apart from that, there are some more equations which are easy. Okay, no problem. Then we discuss about data sufficiency already. Then algebra, geometry, these all things, binary system, quadratic equation. This is coming in all exams. These topics are common for every exams. This trigonometry will not be asked in which syllabus? Banking syllabus. Okay, but RRB, SSC, etc. will ask about trigonometry also. Okay, there is a difference. So that's clear. Then maths. These general maths, I just put that syllabus also because so many concepts from our +1, +2. I am not talking about this metrics or that differentiation, integrals, etc. We don't need that things, but we need some concepts related to conic sections. What all things are coming under conic sections? Can you say conic sections? Anyone?
Parabola, hyperbola.
Yeah, circle, parabola, hyperbola, ellipse, etc. is coming in conic section. Sometimes we need that general equations and all. This limits and derivatives is not needed for our what? For our competitive exams. Differential equation, these all things we don't need. Okay, but permutation and combination, hmm? It will come. Permutation and combination is a must. Then sequence and series. This topic we have to know. Okay, APGP. Do you remember that APGP? Arithmetic progression. Then ge geometric progression. Yes, arithmetic progression and geometric progression. APGP. So some concepts from +1 trigonometry will be asked in which exam? SSC and RRB. Okay, not in banking section. Then this Venn diagram concept. I just remembered you. I just yeah said that it is related to what? It is coming from +1 standard. Okay, sets or logical Venn diagram. Hmm? The main concept is from this sets. Then trigonometric function. Then coming to this quadratic equation. Quadratic equation and complex numbers. Okay, complex number will be asked in RRB SSC. It may be needed. Quadratic equation is everywhere. In every exam, it will be there. Hmm? Either in bank or SSC or anything. Okay. Then linear equation. Linear equation we want to study. That is, what do you remember about that linear equation? Do you remember that linear equation? What is that?
solving
Yeah, solving. Solving is there in quadratic equation also, right? Solving linear equation LPP. You know about LPP, right? Linear ax square plus bx plus c is coming under quadratic equation. Linear equation means the power will be the degree will be what? 1 or 2? 1. Yes. The power will be 1 for linear equations. So that is x plus 2y is equal to something like that. The power will be what? 1. Okay, all the powers will be 1. Powers of variable, okay, will be 1. That is an example for linear equation. So sometimes in this thing, in reasoning, in arithmetical reasoning, they will they will ask about what? These inequalities. What do you mean by inequalities? What do you mean by inequalities? Less than, greater than, greater than or equal to. Yeah, less than, greater than, less than or equal to. Those concepts we want to know. Okay. So if less than is coming, then what will be the what conclusion like that? He will ask. I will discuss about that in that particular session. Okay. So yeah, less than that concepts is coming from +1 itself. So like that, I am just reminding you that our +1 maths plays a role. Okay, plays a major role. Then that numbers, etc. That 3D geometry is also needed. 3D geometry, introduction to 3D geometry is needed. Then mathematical reasoning. Do you remember about that? Mathematical reasoning. What was the mathematical reasoning? It was actually a syllabus in reasoning, but we didn't know knew that it was what? It was related to this reasoning part. Okay, mathematical reasoning. Did you remember anything about mathematical reasoning in +1? Mathematical reasoning. Anyone? Is there any memory about that? Mathematical reasoning. Yeah, in mathematical reasoning, we studied about what all things? Negation. Do you remember that? Negation. If some sense, yeah, negation, contrapositive, inversion, like that. We will just invert the sentence. We will just change the order of the sentence. Then we will, yeah, if some statement is there, we will just say the opposite of that. and that opposite is called negation. Like that we just studied in +1 also. Actually, we studied all those things in our early childhood or early classes. Okay, up to 10th standard we studied all those compound interest. Yeah, compound interest, simple interest. These all things we studied in 8th standard or something. Then statistics we know. Hmm? Then some logarithmic properties like log a plus log b. What is that? You have maths exam, right? So I can ask some questions related to that. Log a plus log b. What is that?
log A plus B.
Yeah, log a plus log b. Once again, once more. Just think about it. Log a plus log b. Everyone, it is not log of a plus b. It is something else. But you can tell that log a plus log b will be. Hmm, you have maths exam, right?
Log A by log B. Log A
No,
log log A.
log ab.
Log AB.
Yeah, log of ab. Yes. Log a by b is for what? Log a. Uh, log a minus.
Minus log B.
Yeah, yeah. Log a minus log b is log of a by b. But log a plus log b is log of ab. So like that properties we need to study while solving some problems. But logarithm is mainly asked in that thing in RRBSSC, not in what? Not in banking, because in banking we have no time for solving those things because DI questions will be there. Okay. So what do you think about this DI? DI. What do you think about DI? Data interpretation. How do you feel about solving that thing? Anyone? How did you feel about data interpretation? What is your opinion about that topic, about that particular topic? Hmm. Anyone? Those who attended the DI class, you can share your memory about that.
Questions related to graph,
Questions?
pie chart.
Yeah, questions related to
Questions related to graphs like pie chart.
pie chart, line chart, then yeah, table charts were the like those things were asked in DI, but we had to apply some particular percentage, profit and loss, then cost price, ratio and proportion, etc. in DI itself. So we need to know about those topics while solving DI, isn't it? Okay. So it is interrelated. That's what I was trying to say. Okay. So we need to study those concepts in order to solve the DI very easily and in short time. Okay. We will study about percentage, profit and loss, ratio and proportion in detail. Okay. After that, okay, you will take very short time in solving this DI. Okay. I just started with DI in order to make you understand the importance of these things. Okay, while solving DI, you may came across different percentage difference, then profit and loss, cost price, ratio and proportion, etc. Those topics were related to that DI problems, right? So I just started with DI because DI has a great weightage in every exams, and those DI problems contains the application of these things: percentage, profit and loss, ratio and proportion. Also, there are different topics which is coming in DI. They will mix up. That is area. There are problems like they will include they will include a particular data related to area and volume of a particular shapes, and that will be in a tabular manner. Okay, that will be given in a tabular manner, and yeah, on the basis of that we have to answer some questions related to that. So we need the equations of area, volume, etc. of 2D and 3D items or objects or any 2D planes. Okay, in any shape. Hmm? Then time and work. Time and work. They can include time and work in that. Okay. Then problems of train is separate. It is much easy, better than others. Then bottom streams. It is also easy. Then allegation and mixture. Allegation and mixture is a good topic. And like that, there are so many topics. Geometry will be easy for you. Geometry algebra will be easy for you. Okay. What is about geometry? What is the meaning of that? Geometry. Geometry. You studied in lower classes. We all studied in lower classes. Yeah. Geometry. Drawings related to that triangle, circle, etc. We just drew several centroid, everything during our early classes, right?